I work as a financial auditor for a mid-sized corporate firm. Our office takes up the entire 14th floor of a massive high-rise building in the city. Usually it's bustling with hundreds of people, ringing phones, and the constant hum of conversation. But after 8 p.m., it becomes a completely different world. An unsettling, silent world. Menda. It was late November, and we were facing a massive end-of-year deadline. By 9:30 p.m., the last of my coworkers had packed up and left. I told the security guard in the lobby that I'd be staying until at least midnight to finish my reports. Man, being alone on a floor that large is a deeply creepy experience. To save electricity, the building operates on motion sensor lights. If a section of the office is empty for 15 minutes, the lights in that zone completely shut off. By, sir, since PM, my small cubicle in the corner was the only illuminated spot on the entire 14th floor. The rest of the massive open-planned office was pitch black. The only sound was the low, mechanical hum of the central AC. Band around. Siri, Suwu PM. I was typing away when I heard a distinct click. I looked up over my cubicle wall, about 200 feet away. On the exact opposite side of the floor near the elevators, a square block of fluorescent ceiling lights had turned on. I froze. To trigger those sensors, someone had to be physically walking in that zone. I assumed it was just the night cleaning crew or the security guard doing his rounds. I waited for the sound of the vacuum or the jingle of keys. But there was nothing, just dead, heavy silence. I watched that illuminated square of the office for 10 minutes. Nothing moved. Eventually, the timer ran out, and those lights clicked back off, plunging the far side of the office back into total darkness. I took a deep breath, convincing myself it was just a faulty sensor, and went back to my screen. And 5 minutes later, click, another section of lights turned on. But this time they weren't by the elevators. They were in the middle of the floor, about 100 feet closer to me. Glimpse, my heart started pounding against my ribs. Someone was walking through the dark office, stopping and waiting, and they were moving in my direction. I completely turned off my monitor, plunging my own cubicle into darkness. I slid out of my chair and crawled under my heavy wooden desk, pulling my knees to my chest. Click. The lights in the section right next to my zone turned on. The harsh fluorescent glow spilled into my cubicle. I covered my mouth with both hands, trying to quiet my breathing. Then I heard it, the soft, heavy thud of footsteps on the carpet. But it wasn't the sound of work shoes. It was the sound of bare feet. Thud, 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 thud. And from under my desk, I saw a pair of filthy, bruised bare feet walk slowly past my cubicle entrance. The person paused, standing completely still just 3 feet away from me. I squeezed my eyes shut, tears streaming down my face, praying they wouldn't look under the desk. And after what felt like an eternity, the feet slowly turned and walked toward the emergency stairwell. I heard the heavy metal door creak open and shut. I didn't wait. I grabbed my phone, sprinted to the elevators, and rode down to the lobby, shaking uncontrollably. I told the security guard everything. He locked down the building and called the police. They searched the entire 14th floor, but they didn't find anyone in the stairwell. What they found was much worse. In the server room, one of the drop ceiling tiles had been pushed aside. Above the ceiling panels, the police found food wrappers, a makeshift bed of stolen winter coats, and a kitchen knife. The man hadn't broken in that night. He had been living in the ceiling above us for weeks, and he only came down when the office went dark.